Everybody is posting all of this stuff about going to Gen Con and all the amazing swag and stuff that they got. Well, I went to a regular old game store over the weekend and I got a whole ton of stuff and I'm just as excited about it. Let's talk about it this week. Welcome back to the channel, everybody. My name is Garmin. This is the Storycraft Society, and over the past weekend, I was in Lynchburg, Virginia, visiting one of my dear friends, and through the whole time that I was there, I was watching all of my other friends posting on Facebook, the ones that went to Gen Con, and they were posting all the cool stuff that they got, and all the things that made me sad that I wasn't at Gen Con. Not that I wasn't excited to be hanging out with one of my best friends, but it was still one of those things where I was like, dang, they're getting cool stuff and I'm not. So we went to my friend's local game store called Dragonfire Games, and while we were there, I ended up finding a ton of awesome stuff, and it was just a reminder to me that you don't have to do some big, crazy, extravagant convention weekend to leave with cool stuff. Sometimes you just have to explore the local game stores in your area and you will find some amazing things. So this week we're gonna go over what I have in this little pile here. Let's just dive into it because there is so much stuff and I'm really excited about all of it. Also, side note, my family is working on our house right now, so if you hear a whole bunch of like banging and like machines and stuff going, that's what's happening. So sorry for the ambient noise. All right, so in our big bunch of swag, I'm gonna set this off to the side here, and then we're gonna start going through all this. So the first thing that we got is dice. And I shouldn't say I should say Olivia. So these are Olivia's dice. She got 2 sets. Now, of the 2 sets, she got one that are like these kind of fake metallic, super crazy party color ones. And then she got these, and I'll try to get a little bit of a close-up here. These have little fruit in them. It's like the craziest thing, and as soon as we saw them, she and I both freaked out, and that was really neat. So it's super nice to have some new sets of dice for her, and definitely these were the things that she was the most excited about, that she picked out for herself and that she bought just for herself. Okay, so that's those. Next, we are getting into the miniatures. And holy camole, did I end up with a lot of miniatures. I mean, it's, if I'm just gonna be honest, a lot. Probably too much, but let's get these all flipped over here. So I ended up with all of these. All, of course, are Bones, and most of them are the Bones Black or the Bones USA. I'm not actually sure what the difference is between all the different variations of like Bones and then Reaper Legends and then Reaper Bones USA and then Reaper Bones Black. The one thing that I can say is that when I was looking over their massive miniature wall at this particular game store, you could really tell a difference between the like whiter plastic option and then this like darker gray plastic. Whatever they're doing with this new like Reaper Bones USA or like the Bones Black are just really impressively sculpted miniatures. But I've got a bunch of those and I'll actually go over them real quick right now. The first one that I got was actually 2. I bought 2 of these, but it's just a fireplace. This is something that I think will be really nice to use with dungeon tiles. They're just so simple to get painted up and then get them to look good. And I bought 2 because this is the type of thing where multiple fireplaces will always be useful when setting up dungeon tiles. So really excited to get those painted up. Little unboxing side note, I actually didn't realize that it came with this little pot and little cooking pan of food. Always nice when they surprise you. I thought it just came with this little fire thing that fits back in like that. Crazy. The next little bit of terrain was this little pack of braziers. And this again is another example of a terrain piece that just having a bunch of these around a dungeon is really just a useful thing to have. So I'm really excited to mess with those and get those all painted up, or should I say have Olivia get those all painted up. The last piece of terrain that I bought was this little bar, and the thing that I liked the most about it was how it has all of these little kegs built into it, and then of course the little drawers on the bottom side. I'm not sure what exactly I'm going to use this for. It's probably just going to be a piece of dungeon scatter that goes out when I need it, but I really liked this when it looked like a pretty unique piece. Let's move on to the actual miniatures. So the first one we got is this little Burgermeister character, and he is just chocked top to bottom with so much character. Just these like little details that make him feel so alive. This is like Olivia and my favorite brand of model. It's not particularly the most heroic looking thing, certainly not like badass, like, you know, I'm gonna fight them and win the day type model, but just a fun model that is just fully chocked full of character. And that actually is going to lead me to the next one that I'm going to show off, which is this moneylender. And again, not like a heroic character, but I love that he's got the little book and the big quill and the floppy beret hat. Again, this is just such an awesome little model. Really excited about that one. And then I'll move on to Olivia's favorite model of the whole bunch, which is Tub the Dwarf Baker. Look at this model. To me, this is like a pretty good model, but like I've never seen a miniature that looks so much like something that Olivia will want to paint right away. Look at his little pie and his little beard. Continuing on with the neat little villager models, we got these townfolk fishermen. The one who has this little fish cart that he's selling with like the little cool wizard hat, and then this other figure here with the fishing rod on their back. That is a really neat set of models here. Again, Olivia really likes painting townsfolk models. That's like, I think, her favorite brand of model to paint, or theme of model to paint. Fun little unboxing side note. I love how his little arms are spread out because he's going, the fish was this big. That's like such a fun little flavor-filled detail. I love that so much. Speaking of townfolk, I actually already have the Men of Dreadmere set. So when I saw that here was this Women of Dreadmere set, I was definitely really excited to pick that up. And there's definitely some cool models here, specifically this one that's got like the little blades and the one with the axe. Just really neat models there. On to the adventurer models that I got. I got 2. Well, technically, I guess I got 4. But this one is Deep Gnome Adventurers. And it's actually really funny. I pulled this one down off the wall and didn't even look at the models. I was just like, I'm going to buy this because, first of all, I love Deep Gnomes. Sverfneblin are like one of my favorite races in 5e. As soon as I saw this, I was like, I need this because it's just a rare thing. You don't find a lot of Deep Gnome models, but you get 3 of them in here. I just love the one with his little pickaxe. And then lastly, I found this young mage model. And this one I really liked because it just seemed like a character that I could make for a future game. I don't know who this is yet, but it will be a character eventually. So after the dice and the miniatures, the last thing that I got might be my favorite, but I'm not sure. I ended up finding this amazing limited edition cover of Tome of Heroes by Cobbled Press. So on the channel here, I've been very clear. I am a huge Cobbled Press fan. I love almost everything they've done. I have a whole bunch of their products on the shelf, and this is the one book that I have wanted that I hadn't gotten yet. I didn't get an opportunity to back the Kickstarter, so then when I saw this on the shelf, I was like, I just immediately have to grab it. I don't have time today to go over this whole book. It would be really nice if I did, but I just don't. So there's just everything in this book for players. It's got a bunch of races and then class archetypes and alternate rules and some special things in it. I might end up doing a review for this book just because I like a lot of the things that are in it and it would be fun to talk about it. So I'm not going to go into that right now, but really awesome. And I love the fact that it's the limited edition cover and all that stuff. So with that said, that was my super epic ultra game store haul. While doing this video, I figured 2 things out. The first one is it seems like a lot more when you're ringing up than it is once you start unpacking it. I guess that's ridiculous, but it's true. And then the second thing is I'm super glad that I bought all this stuff and I got it from a local game store. You don't have to go to crazy ends of the earth to get cool stuff. You can find it at your local friendly game store, although I still wish I would have got to go to Gen Con because it looked really fun. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, definitely leave me a like down below. Definitely tell me what your favorite thing is. What's your favorite type of miniature to buy? Olivia and I just seem to find ourselves buying these quirky little like townfolk models more than we're buying super epic heroic adventurer models. So I'm just curious, do you like that type? Do you have a favorite type or a favorite brand? Something I maybe should check out. That's definitely worth mentioning. Do you have Tome of Heroes? That would be good to know as well, and let me know what you think of it. Do all the YouTube stuff. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Share this video with a friend that you think would enjoy it. That's the #1 way to help out a small YouTube channel. But other than that, that's it. Thank you so much for watching. Like this video if you enjoyed it. I don't know if I said that yet, but until next week, I'll be seeing you.